today's Desk for Creativity. See episode 1 of my new season of Hurricane Season. That's right, we're learning about hurricanes and we're going to do a lot of stuff with hurricanes. We're going to do a weather report and do as much hurricanes as we can. I know you're going to like it. So the topic for today is, that's this big word over here that I showed, is hurricanes categories. So let's learn the categories of hurricanes. Hurricane categories could be from a very small tropical depression to a very powerful category 5. So one of the things you know is, way before we even name stuff, is the first category of a hurricane would be called a invest. A invest is a very powerful storm that is very powerful. But that still doesn't mean you can name. How weathermen name invests is is by numbers. So they'll probably call an invest, like, let's say invest 95L, and then the next invest would be invest 96. Sometimes invest shrinking to hurricanes or tropical storms. Next, some invests don't shrinking, but some do, shrinking to this thing called tropical depression. A tropical depression still isn't a hurricane, and it's still not a name. A tropical depression would be like Tropical Depression 1, or Tropical Depression 2, or Tropical Depression 3, or Tropical Depression 4, or Tropical Depression 5, or Tropical Depression 6, or Tropical Depression 7, or Tropical Depression 8, 1,000, Tropical Depression 1,001, Tropical Storm 1,000,000,000. I think there probably won't be that much tropical depressions. Let's just move on. So if a tropical depression shrinkens into a hurricane, shrinkings, again, that like the invest, not all of them do, but if they do, they shrink. Tropical depressions shrinking to this thing called tropical storms. What is a tropical storm? Well, you've been waiting for. A tropical storm is basically a baby hurricane. So that means that's by the point of a tropical depression is when they name a storm. So, and the thing with naming stuff, every year they name hurricanes in alphabetical order from boy, girl, boy, girl. For a spending, there would be Alberto. Alberto would be the first one. That would be a boy. Next would be a girl, like Bella. Bella might be a girl. Then the C might be a boy, like Charlie. And then Deanie, Beanie, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, before we move on, let's look at some hurricanes let's look at some tropical storms. In 2018, Tropical Storm Alberto hit landfall in Louisiana as a tropical storm. It was very cool. And so that's our example. But Alberto was actually a subtropical storm. A subtropical storm are tropical storms that happen from January to May. That January to May is a hurricane season before where hurricanes start. Usual hurricanes start from June 1st to November 31st. So that's what makes a hurricane a sub-hurricane. Now, if a tropical storm shrinkings that would be at the point when it makes it to a hurricane. This type of hurricane isn't just a hurricane. Hurricanes are split into 5 categories, and the first category of hurricane is the Category 1 hurricane. A Category 1 hurricane has wind speeds from 75 miles per hour to all the way to 95 miles per hour. 95? That's a lot. Let's look at some hurricanes that make it to being a Category 1 hurricane. In 2017, Hurricane Nate striking to a Category 1 hurricane. And it actually, when it hit Costa Rica, it caused the most dollars in damage ever caused before. I don't know how much it was, but I know it must have been in the billions. If you know, say it in the comment section below. Next is called a Category 2. Like others, some hurricanes don't make it to a Category 1, but a Category 2 has wind speeds from 95 miles per hour to 120 miles per hour. That's big. Let's look at some hurricanes that made it to a Category 2. Well, there is Category 2 Hurricane Arthur that made it to a Category 2. Now, let's move on. Category 3 is at the point when it's not called a hurricane anymore. It's called a major hurricane. A major hurricane are hurricanes that are very, very powerful. A Category 3 hurricane has wind speeds from 120 to 138 miles per hour. And that is very powerful storm. Let's look at some storms that made it to a Category 3 hurricane. Let's just skip Category 3. Next, after Category 3, because it's a major storm, things get a little scary. For example, after Category 3, not all hurricanes have a category make it to this category called a Category 4. A Category 4 is so rare. It's very rare that sometimes they don't even have hurricanes. In 2011, the year I was born, there weren't any Category 4s. The most powerful hurricane was a Category 3. And that shows how less powerful hurricanes were. I'm frenzied today. It's horrible. Oh, look, it just turned 1 o'clock. Oh, never mind. Let's look at some Category 4 hurricanes. Hurricane Harvey in the year of 2017, Atlantic hurricane season. When it hit Houston, Texas, the capital of Texas, it was horrible. It made the worst power lights ever, and actually it wasn't the wind speed that was the most powerful. It was actually the flooding. There was so much flooding that year. So much flooding. I bet it was horrible who lived in Texas. Wonder why they invented evacuation. Anyway, now let's look. Now, next would be the most powerful category ever. That is called a Category 5 hurricane. Category 5 hurricanes could be so powerful and dangerous. A Category 4 is only from wind speeds 138 to 149. That finds fast. But a Category 5 hurricane is 150 and over. So it could be, I remember one Category 5 hurricane tip. When it hit landfall, it was 215 miles per hour. The most powerful hurricane to hit America was Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Why? Do you know why it got so powerful? Well, when Katrina it hit Louisiana 3 times. First, Katrina went up and hit Louisiana as a tropical storm that's really weak. Then when the next time it hit Category 3, and then it hit a Category 5, making the worst hurricane to hit there in Louisiana. Ooh, I feel sorry for them. No, I don't. Yes, I do. So then, another Category 5 was Hurricane Irma. Hurricane Irma in 2017, when it hit Miami, it was so powerful. You won't even believe how powerful that was. It was crazy. So, next, there was actually another Category 5. In 2017, in 2017, again, 2 Category 5, that's crazy. There was Hurricane Maria. When it hit Puerto Rico, it turned out the least power lights ever. So even my tree here, that is a great superstar, it's really a Christmas tree. This wouldn't turn on because all of the power lights in Puerto Rico was gone. It made the worst power outage ever recorded. And anywhere you could have hurricanes anywhere in the Atlantic. Even if you live up north where I live, in Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, or Pennsylvania, and Maine, and Vermont, and New Hampshire, and all the northern countries, including you, including you, Virginia. Don't be so thin, because Virginia in 2018, Hurricane Florence hit Virginia badly. And in 2012 hurricane season, Hurricane Sandy hit New York, a Category 1, and it hit Connecticut, a tropical storm, and it even hit Massachusetts and Vermont and all the way up to Maine. Even if you live in South Canada, you could even be dealing with some hurricanes. And in Spain, I forgot his name. It started with an E. That hit Spain. So even in Spain and Portugal. And don't look all innocent, England. In 2017, don't forget Hurricane Ophelia. Hurricane Ophelia hit England, a tropical storm. That was still very bad. And don't look all innocent. And you too, Mediterranean and North Africa and Africa. You guys, Hurricane Grandma, sounds funny. Hurricane Grandma, it hit North Africa and it also hit the Mediterranean. It's pretty rare, but anywhere who lives in the Atlantic will be dealing with a hurricane sometimes. Now there aren't just hurricanes. Next episode will be all about the Pacific hurricanes. See you then. Bye.